Hello, I'm Brenda Imanis. Welcome to Sadler's Wells here in London for the second of 3 special programmes, bringing the very best of UK dance direct to you at home. We've got an astonishing lineup of performers for you from some of the country's leading dance companies and rising talent, all taking part in this inspirational festival celebrating the joy of dance. Coming up in this programme, in their first ever performance together, 2 of the world's most acclaimed dancers, Akram and the Royal Ballet principal Natalia Osipova, combined the traditions of Kathak and ballet with stunning results. Reflections on the year we've lived through in Birmingham Royal Ballet's Lazuli Sky. Humanhood performs Sfera, conjuring up the power of the moon's luminous light. In Belfast, choreographer Una Doherty takes to the streets for a story of masculinity and joyriding in Hope, Hunt and the Ascension into Lazarus. And we'll end with a filmed performance by internationally acclaimed hip-hop dance company Boy Blue, receiving its UK TV premiere here. That's all on its way in Dancing Nation. It's a great lineup, and I'm thrilled to be at Sadler's Wells, one of the leading dance houses in the world, to share it with you. Putting this festival together at this time hasn't been straightforward, as you can imagine. Now, all of the filming has taken place under strict COVID protocols, working to the latest government guidelines. The dancers and companies have themselves had to make huge efforts using testing, social distancing, working in bubbles and adapting choreography to ensure the show can go on safely. A quick reminder, too, that in the UK, you can see all 3 of our shows from Dancing Nation on the BBC iPlayer and outside of the UK on the Sadler's Wells website. If you did join us for our first programme, you'll remember you saw a stunning performance of Orbis, danced by Humanhood. And I'm very happy to say that Humanhood, Rudy Cole and Julia Robert are with me now. Hi, guys.
Hello, Brenda.
Now, you are partners in terms of your company and in real life. So how's it been for you in lockdown, working and creating and living together?
Well, the lockdown really allowed us to home in on what our artistic collaboration was as 2 dancers, as 2 movers, as 2 creators, and find out what that nucleus of the idea that we were growing and creating from.
And we are very used to live together, work together. Even before the lockdown, we were like traveling every time together almost. And it's about, I think the lockdown really brought us a sense of getting to know the person as a whole and then just training your eyes to see always the good. That helps.
Both of you wear 2 hats as dancers and choreographers. Was there one aspect of you that was more frustrated being in lockdown?
Actually, none of them. So for Sfera, what we really found is that when getting into the studio, we were playing much more. Because of the lockdown, we were locked in the house, and then in the studio it was like, let's play, let's create, let's be creative. And in terms of more like practitioners, I would say, we have this new idea, which was about how do we bring movement into people's houses. And we start giving these short classes online, and a lot of people join, kids, older people experience, non-experience, and then we start having this new idea.
Yeah, so WeFlow experience is you take your inside home and you go to nature. We're doing movement practices which are based around our practices as dancers, Tai Chi, Qigong, meditation, breath work, and we bring that into a space where people can connect with their bodies and their essence of movement in their own self and in their own space.
Now, we're about to see an extract from a new piece from you, but like Orbis was inspired by the moon, Sfera, why did you decide to revisit the same subject?
Well, back to that nucleus idea of us as artists and humanhood, it's really about the yin-yang, the white, the black, the positive, the negative, the dark, the light. And we wanted to find a new production that could really reflect those, and in fact, it actually happened in our mind's eye that they were two separate pieces. So hence, Sfera was born as a concept.
Yeah, and Orbis explores more the darker side of the moon. There's always this side of the moon that we will never see, from the Earth at least, and that's what Orbis reflect, that more mystical, more ritualistic in a sense. And Sfera, which we created during the lockdown, is more that bright side, that moon that shines through the nights, and we could see it everywhere in the world, in different time zones, of course. And that was when the light came, and it was more about the body and the physicality and how the moon shifts the water in this planet.
Did you enjoy working on that piece with such a very different energy to what you'd done previously?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think for me, that process was more play. We have a lot where there's a very quick turnover to finding out that we're going to do a production and then having our performance date. But this one, we had this breadth of time to really get into what was this relationship that we had with Moon, which included Moon rituals, by the way.
Well, we're very excited to see this lunar-inspired, very innovative work. Thank you very much, Rudy and Julia.
Thank you.
So, a dance piece of liquid bodies changing and morphing under the influence of the moon. Here's Sfera. A big thank you to the wonderful Rudy Cole and Julia Robert, collectively known as Humanhood. Now, I'm pretty sure you won't be able to take your eyes off this next work. Genre-defying and hypnotic, it earned choreographer Botis Sever and his company Far From the Norm an Olivier Award back in 2019. You'll soon see why. In this new performance, specially shot for Dancing Nation on the main stage here at Sadler's Wells, we're about to enter the inner battlefield of an ageing artist trying to retain his youth, finding ways to cope and searching for acceptance. This is Black Dog.
Let's start again. Back to the start of the beginning of the place we started in. Do you remember?
The award-winning Black Dog, performed by Far From the Norm, choreographed by Botis Saver. Our next work comes from Birmingham Royal Ballet. Carlos Acosta, one of the great dancers of our time, took on the role of director there nearly a year ago. It's difficult to imagine a more difficult time to take a big job like that. And he's been talking to us about the challenges and the achievements.
The year 2020 has been catastrophic in many ways, and not the least for our sector. I joined this wonderful company with a lot of enthusiasm. I have a terrific plan. We have a momentum going. All of that I had to put aside and readapt. But luckily, we managed to deliver a season in the fall. We did 10 shows in total. It's 5 shows at the Birmingham Rep and 5 shows at Southwest Wales. We team up with Will Tockett, and he created a wonderful ballet for us, Lazuli Sky. And at the same time, we concentrated and focused to boost our digital capabilities. All the world at the moment is online. And so we managed to do the very first live streaming of the Nutcracker that thousands of people watch around the world. And so we are very proud of this achievement, but I must say that it's been very stressful trying to shift from one plan to the other almost in no time, and trying to, by doing so, keeping the company together in one direction. I battle, with anxiety like most people, but here, we are a resilient bunch. We're gonna pull through it, and so hopefully this new year, 2021, can erase from our mind the catastrophic year that was 2020.
Carlos Acosta, director of Birmingham Royal Ballet, whose contribution to Dancing Nation is Lazuli Sky, choreographed by Will Tockett. And I'm pleased to say that I'm now joined by Will. Thanks very much for joining me today. You managed to be back in a room working with the dancers from the Birmingham Royal Ballet. What kind of an experience was that?
It had been, what, 7 months? Not working with anybody and really just being alone at home. And it was fantastic to be able to get into a room where, because of the nature of how they were bubbling and the precautions they were taking, they could literally dance with each other. And that sense of physicality again, to be in it and making it, was really fantastic.
But had not being able to practice in the way they normally would have taken a toll on their bodies?
I mean, they've been brilliant. They were all doing classes at home, in their kitchens, in their living rooms, staying in shape that way. And then they'd had about 3 weeks by the time I got in with them back in the studio, and they just worked their socks off. I mean, they're so dedicated anyway, dancers, but all my hats off to those Birmingham Royal Ballet dancers. They absolutely worked themselves. So by the time we got there, they were in absolutely tip-top shape, which you'll see. I mean, they're lovely.
Now, words of wisdom would say that out of crisis comes opportunity. Did this give you an opportunity to work differently?
It did. I mean, one of the things was because of the way that things were changing, I was working with a video designer, Nina Dunn, and a costume designer, Sam Wire, and all together we were working on the kind of stage picture. But we were in touch with each other basically every single day via Zoom, on the phone. And I think it meant, weirdly, that though we were separate, because Sam was in the Isle of Wight, Nina was in Brighton, I'm in London, actually, we spent so much time working with each other. And then we got Peter Tagan, who also wasn't in either of those places either. So he was also remote. He was our lighting designer. So oddly, we spend more time working collaboratively on it than I think one normally would. And that meant, and also the changing nature, it means that the piece wasn't just about lockdown. It was about the whole process of what we were going through at the time. And so it's a real journey through what we were living through, and often that's very hard to achieve in ballet because of the lead-in times.
Now, we're still in uncertain times. What role do you think dance will play, not just for the practitioners, but for audiences?
I mean, dance, I'm biased, but dance is an extraordinary medium. Do you know, it's the medium I go home to. I adore it so much. And the thing that I think is fantastic is, particularly when you see a group of dancers working together, the physicality of a community of dancers on stage can only ever feel really optimistic and really hopeful. It's really forward-looking. and the energy and physicality of people together can also express not very definable emotions and how we feel. It's not something that's very good at doing the specific, but it's really good at creating an emotional energy. And I think actually, of all the art forms, dance is one of the ones that makes you feel most alive. And I think that, going forward, says wonderful things both about the art form and where it can go and what it can do for us.
And I guess the reality for us that are not professionals is that being at home and having digital, where we have access to a broad range of dance, from Strictly to performances like yourselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's really democratized a lot of things. It's given people voices who wouldn't normally have access to the nature of theatres, because everybody's in the same boat. We're all going through it together. And I think it's interesting that there's always been challenges in it being a really democratized thing, the dance world. And actually, I really hope that going forward, this has managed to level the playing field a little bit and has given more voices and more people opportunities.
So let's talk a little bit about the piece we're about to see, Lazuli Sky, an evocative piece?
Well, I hope you find it so. I mean, it's the piece of music that we used is called Shaker Loops by John Adams in a chamber version, which is an old piece, but it's... and I adore it. It's got real propulsion. It's part of that American minimalism school. And so it constantly feels there's a moving forward and energy, a pace to it. And I felt very strongly when I was talking to Carlos, what I didn't want to do is to make a piece that felt sad, that felt downbeat. I wanted to make something that felt forward-looking. And also, for the dancers, they wanted something to be going towards for all of us and for the audiences. So I think what's great about it as a piece of music is it provided us not only with quite an optimistic way of looking forward, but also there are sections of it that are quite unnerving. It's very incremental, the changes in it. And so it means that whilst people were going through some really terrible times in the country and around me, I think we tried to reflect that, but ultimately to make something that was looking hopeful and looking forward. So we knew where we were going and that we were coming out of this at some point.
Food and optimism for the soul. Will, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Now, danced by Birmingham Royal Ballet, here's Lazuli Sky. That was Lazuli Sky, choreographed by Will Tuckett and performed by members of Birmingham Royal Ballet. From Birmingham, we now head to Belfast for an excerpt from Hope, Hunt and the Ascension into Lazarus. And here to introduce the work is its choreographer, Una Doherty.
You've got to take good care of yourself now that the reformation's here. You've got to take good care of yourself now that you understand.
So I'm Una Doherty, I'm a dance and choreographer from Belfast, and we're shooting today an excerpt of my show Hope Hunt and the Ascension into Lazarus. And this show is about masculinity, it's about smicks, hoods, joyriders, Neds, you would call them in Glasgow. A big inspiration was the film La Haine in France. And it's about trying to make those types of stereotypes of a working class young man into a kind of Caravaggio angel and showing them as deities. So today we're just shooting the opening street sequence, the entrance of the show. Hope you enjoy.
For the history of short, I am flesh, I am flesh. Sunlight dots on a youthful meat, bouncing high, Amadeus audio Jaguar seat, a moist, beautiful beat. Thumped hard, testosterone and cortisol, fuel the grinning mouth where girls do fall. Night air does shout, a man's spine, your spine, splashes, pools of memory. Keep her light, it's fine, inside the battled enemy. Pink flesh, dance on, a smoker's chest, a boyish, spunky energy. For heart, with heart. Mon son, go on, tell me.
Hallelujah. I come with a little help. I can't even speak. I'm so crippled with love. I'm so crippled with love. We're always saying, we're from Northern Ireland. Yeah, look at our papers. We're from Northern Ireland. Charlie, I can play mean guitar solo sometimes. I used to work in Desmond's factory to get on a ball. I take a look at my new shoes. I guess you everything, 'cause everyone's looking for you around here. We're always saying, oh, ain't it good to begin? Oh, we're always saying, oh, dame marvelous, yeah. Need to see you, 'cause
A performance full of raw energy, fury and swagger. Hope, Hunt and the Ascension into Lazarus. Choreographed by Una Doherty and featuring dancer Sati Varun. Now, if you'd like to see our other programmes from Dancing Nation or watch any of these performances again, you can find them all on BBC iPlayer in the UK and for audiences outside of the UK on the Sadler's Wells website. Time now for work by internationally acclaimed hip-hop dance company Boy Blue. We're about to see a section of White, part of their Olivier Award-nominated work, Black, White, Grey, an exploration of identity, oppression and transcendence, all set to a multi-layered electronic score. This is Boy Blue. Time for the final work in our second programme now, and what a treat we have for you. Two of the world's foremost dancers, Royal Ballet Principal Natalia Osipova and Akram Khan, performing together for the very first time. Inspired by his 2006 duet, Sacred Monsters, which he created and performed with former Royal Ballet star Sylvie Guillem, this new work by Akram Khan continues his exploration of two of the great classical dance forms, ballet and Kathak. Joining Natalia and Akram for this performance of Mud of Sorrow, Touch, double bassist Nina Harries and singer Raheel Hussain. You'll also hear some original poetry by Suhaiman Manzoor Khan. In a unique performance filmed on the main stage at Sadler's Wells, especially for Dancing Nation, here is Natalia Osipova and Akram Khan.
Who will write the history of touch? Do you remember? What if your skin has forgotten me? Do you remember? What happens to skin that goes untouched? Who will believe that a touch could change a life?
Campani
Natalia, Osipova and Akram performing Mud of Sorrow, Touch. Two magical talents creating an extraordinary new work together. And that wraps up this second part of Dancing Nation. Lots more great dance still to come in our third and final programme. Anthony and Kel Matsina create a powerful response to COVID-19 and the Black Lives Matter movement in shades of blue. Northern Ballet dance States of Mind on their home stage in Leeds, choreographed by Kenneth Tyndall. With a haunting historical perspective on our current crisis, Shobana Jayasingh Dance perform Contagion. And Rambert team up with choreographer Marion Motan for the exhilarating, unforgettable Rouge. Another thought-provoking, exciting lineup of dance for you to enjoy. I hope you can join me for that. Until then, it's goodbye from Sadler's Wells.